at the box score. Well, obviously, the bookends of the first quarter and the fourth quarter really got away from you. What do you think you guys failed at or didn't do up to the standard that you wanted to see?
I think defensively, I thought it was pretty good. Like you said, Oladipo had 32 points, but, scoring 98 points in our building and 45% from the field, I thought it was a good defensive effort. I thought offensively, didn't make shots, didn't take shots, just wasn't aggressive enough. And I thought their pressure really bothered us early, picking up full court with their guards, post-ups with Kevin. They try to be physical and take them out of it. So we just got to be more physical for game two and own our space offensively.
Joe Varden, Cleveland.com. Ty, of course you got to watch the film to really get into the nitty-gritty, but just based off of feel from how you leave that game, do you feel like you need to change a bunch of stuff heading into game two?
No, we need to change our mindset, just being more aggressive, being more physical. Like I said, I thought he attacked us on our offensive end, defensively getting up, pressuring us, being physical. So we just have to own our space, I think, Joe, and also being the same way defensively, which I thought was pretty good. We could be better.
Jason Lund, The Athletic. Kyle only played 4 minutes tonight. Did his foot flare up?
No.
Was that a strategy decision then?
No strategy. No, but he'll play more next game. I just thought when the game got out of hand and we went small, try to be faster on the floor to switch pick and rolls and give him a different look. And then at that time, just sitting there that long, I didn't want to, risk it. So, yeah.
Jeff Shadell, News Herald. Ty, do you think the desire was there in the beginning or after, or what would you say?
I would say the desire was there. I just think, you can't ease into the playoffs. I thought they came in and they attacked us and they hit us first and we never was able to recover. So, you can't ease into the game. You got to be physical. You got to be mentally tough and mentally strong. And they came in and they was aggressive game one.
Kenny Rhoda, WHBC. Ty, do you know what your best lineup is yet? This is the first time you had all 10 guys that you could play, and you used 10 and then more late in the game. But do you have an idea of what your best lineup or most comfortable lineup is yet?
Yes.
Would you like to share that? Or
No.
No? Okay.
Marla Riding, our Akron Beacon Journal. A few things you said you wanted to caution against or didn't want to do all happened, like turnovers in the first half and didn't want to use Jordan at the point.
Just, we had some careless possessions. I think, throwing the deep ball, in the playoffs, you got to value every possession. And you can't make mistakes like that. If it's not there, if it's not the simple play, you just got to pull it back and just make the simple play. So as far as the point guard situation goes, G. Hill got cracked in the back, as you saw, and at halftime, he was pretty stiff, so he's going to try to give it a go to start the third quarter, and he was favored, so we had to get him out.
Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. Ty, Jeff Green was such a big piece of this team in the second half of this season. What went wrong for him tonight?
I have to look at it, but he just had to be more aggressive. I think attacking the basket, being more decisive offensively. Defensively, I thought he did some good things, but just, running the floor more, playing with pace, rebounding the basketball because he's playing the big. So just playing faster, just playing with more energy.
When Indiana uses a center against him like they did at times with Miles Turner, what do you need Jeff to do? What should his approach be in that instance? Playing
fast, running the floor, offensively. I think spreading the screens and pick and rolls with the big, getting to our quick DHOs and on the offensive end. Defensively, did a good job of switching on to Oladipo a few times, which we wanted him to do. So we'll look at it and just, of course, 0 for 7, 0 points. We know he has to be better, so he will be.
I know you said overall you were happy defensively with the numbers and everything, but when you talked earlier in the week about trying to take away what the other team does best, do you think you did that when Victor scores 32?
I think we did. As far as in the pick and roll game, I thought he hurt us, catch and shoot, off the ball, relaxing, not being aware. So I had to go back and look at it, Jason. But what he did hurt us a couple times. We switched, put Larry and those guys. He made a couple threes, which, is going to happen. You're going to give up something. But as far as the blitz, I thought we did a good job of really, get into him and pull him over early. Got a couple steals early, which we didn't convert on. But for the most part, defensively, we were pretty good.
Tyronn with the Sports Animal 1390 in Youngstown. I know some of the guys that had never been in the playoffs before struggled early on. Was that because nerves were setting in, or was it because they weren't aggressive enough, or a little bit of both?
You have to ask him that question, but I just think, we talked about before the game, just being aggressive. I think defensively, taking charges, diving on the floor for loose balls, block shots, deflections, things like that, which leads to easy baskets, really loosens the game up for you. So early on, I don't think we did that. I thought we got a couple steals, which we didn't convert on, and that kind of hurt us offensively.
Tom Withers, AP. Ty, is this a good wake-up call maybe? I know it's been a tough year with guys coming in and out and all, but you talked about the desire and not having that urgency you need at the beginning of the game. Is this a good wake-up call for this team?
I don't know about a wake-up call, but, we talked about at the end of the game, like this is how the playoffs are. They came in, they were more physical, they were more aggressive, and usually in the playoffs, those teams win. So we just got to be more physical defensively. I think offensively attacking the basket more, taking our shots when we have them, and then when you attack, if it's not open, they kick it out for open shots. So we'll be better next game, but you can't ease into the game.
Dave McBennett, ESPN. Earlier, you mentioned the idea of owning your space, and you just said you wanted to see guys attack more. The three-point shooting, 8 for 34. Do you think that was settling? Do you think that was Indiana's defense closing out hard on you? Do you think it was missing open shots? What do you make of that?
Well, we know defensively, their principle is just stop the ball. That's what they're trained to do. So we had some good shots we didn't make. A couple probably was rushed, so I got to go back and watch that. But we're open. We got to shoot the basketball. And I thought LeBron got in a few times and kicked it out for shots, and guys didn't take shots, or they didn't put it back on the floor and drive and create a mismatch. So, an advantage. So we just got to be better. Look at the film, and I hate to play Bron to point that long, but with G Hill going out, we really didn't have another option.
Just a quick follow-up. Do you think you'll have George for Game 2?
Yeah, I think so. Yes, sir. Y'all have a good day.
So Twitter has spoken. Why didn't we see more of a game with King James and Kevin Love in the post? That is the first fan question we've received. So Stu, why not?
Well, that's not the way that the Cleveland Cavaliers are currently constructed, quite frankly. When they made the trade and they brought in, Hood and Clarkston and George Hill, they were basically a perimeter, 4 out, maybe 1 in sometimes, with Kevin Love being that post player. And they play a wide open brand of basketball predicated on taking a 3-point shot. That's why you don't see them in the post. I mean, would it be good advice that they go to the post a little bit more? I think yes, especially when they're struggling, just to get themselves going, to go inside and come back out, into the post on the pass, rather than just dribbling, penetrating, and throwing it back out.
And I think that they got to make a lineup change. I think that maybe they do need to add Tristan Thompson to the lineup, and because Kevin Love talked about it all year, he is not comfortable playing the 5. Mm-hmm. He's just not. And then when you move LeBron James back to the 3, the small forward position, then he allows him to go to the block a little bit more. They got to beat up people. I mean, they got to put their physicality on the game. They got to be physical, because your best player is physical. He plays bully ball the whole entire game. You can't get caught up playing like everybody else. Pretty much they shot 34 threes today, only making 8. Just can't happen.
Yeah, and as you said, Tristan Thompson played just 2 minutes, and the thing that they needed was defense and a guy anchoring inside, and they didn't have that at all. Okay, another fan question. What is the Cavs' greatest challenge? Slowing down Oladipo or finding a consistent second or third scoring option? Rip, what do you think?
I say finding a consistent second or third option. I mean, if you looked at LeBron's success in the past, he always had that other guy. In Miami, it was Dwayne Wade. For the years in Cleveland, it was Kyrie Irving. It gave LeBron a chance to rest on the bench, but also even when he was in the game, he can kind of play the decoy. He can't force to do that. Look, he had a triple-double, 10 rebounds, 12 assists, 24 points, and they lose by 18. That just can't happen.
And with Oladipo, one thing that the Cavs could do, I think, Rip, they need to make him a little bit more uncomfortable. Today, you saw situations where he literally came down the floor and just dribbled into spot-up 3-point shots or, off the dribble. That can't happen. You have to make him uncomfortable, make him go side to side or get into the teeth of the defense to make somebody else beat you. But to just allow him to come at you and get your defense on your heels, that's Oladipo's game, and he'll have a game 2 the way he did game 1 if they don't change their aggressiveness against them.
And also defensively, if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, not that they did a good job, but Indiana scored 109 points per game against them during the regular season. They held them to just 98 points. But the Cavs scoring just 80 points, it seems like the part of the equation that matters most. Getting Kevin Love involved, 9 points from a guy that's your second All-Star, supposed to be your second best scoring. I mean, that's just not good enough, right?
No, it's not. And it's all about how you get him involved. I've always thought last year when Kevin Love was playing well, there was a right mixture of running him into the post or, running him off screens, also allowing him to spot up. But there was variety to his offensive game. I don't see that Kevin Love right now or coming from the Cleveland Cavaliers offense.
And the thing about it, too, is when they call Kevin Love's number, it's usually for him to score the basket. What I think Lue has to do is say, all right, you know what? We're going to run our offense through Kevin Love. It's not all about the shots. It's all about, hey, letting him touch the ball, maybe put him in some dribble handoff, put him in a situation where he can do some playmaking. Because that right there will take a big load off him so he don't have to go out each and every time and say, every time I touch the ball, I have to score. 8 shots tonight is just not enough for him.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Kevin Love, a versatile player.
Yes.
We're not seeing that versatility. One of the best things in his game is his ability to pass the ball. So it'll be interesting to see if the Cleveland Cavaliers can get that out of him in Game 2 against the Indiana Pacers. Victor Oladipo is going to look to have a repeat performance from his Game 1 career playoff high, 32 points.